This is the plaintiff, Monica Carry-On. She says she purchased a new battery from the defendant for her Toyota Prius, and the thing was a dud. She's a mobile phlebotomist, needs her vehicle for work, and is suing for the refund of the $1,600 she's owed. This is the defendant, Nick Vergunst. He says he sold a new battery to the plaintiff over a year ago. The woman is now complaining the battery's defective, but the plaintiff is required to register it with the manufacturer who will warranty it for defects. She failed to do so, and he owes her nothing. He's accused of charging up a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. You're welcome. Okay, Ms. Carry-On, you are suing for $1,600 that you want refunded for a battery because, according to you, the defendant will not honor their warranty. Tell me what is going on.
That is correct, Your Honor. So as of January of this year, I started having issues with my battery. I contacted the installer.
Can you back up a second? You drive what?
2006 Toyota Prius.
Okay, and when you say battery, you are referring to, this is an electrical car? Hybrid? Right.
Vehicle. Yeah, hybrid vehicle.
So you bought a battery from the defendant.
I actually was referred to him by another gentleman who was the person that installed my the battery, which is Rusty. He's here in California, and I guess Mr.
His name is Vergunst.
This gentleman in front of me, Vergunst. Thank you. Sorry. So Mr. Vergunst is actually in Colorado, so that's how I got a hold of him.
So let's back up a second, online. Just to understand. You needed a new battery. You went to the local installer, and the local installer sold you the battery. Correct?
That's what I assumed. He told me that, oh, yeah, I'll just go ahead and connect you with this guy in front of me, this gentleman. And then he was going to be the one to sell me the battery. So I understood from the,
That's fine, because I do see emails between you, the plaintiff, and him, the defendant, back in March of 2019, buying the battery. So Correct. You bought the battery from him. All right. Now,
Correct.
Tell me about your business, Mr. Vergunst. What is the name of your business? New Prius Batteries, LLC.
That's correct.
How are you able to use the Prius name?
Well, Toyota hasn't knocked on my door yet.
That's it. Toyota. So I hope Toyota executives are not watching. Anyway, so talk to me about your business, because I'm fascinated by it. You saw an opportunity and you seized it. Tell me about that.
So I actually have a Prius as well, a 2006 model, and my battery gave up the ghost shortly before I started this business. And I was looking for a replacement battery for my Prius, and the only way that I could get one that was of comparable quality to the original was to actually go to Toyota and fork over $3,000 for an original battery. I myself am an engineer. I have a degree in both electrical engineering and computer engineering, and I've done power electronics for over a decade. I've helped build custom electric vehicles, so it's a battery. It can't be that hard. So I figured out how to manufacture some that were just like the original ones that Toyota made. And so I put those in my vehicle, as well as a few test mules from the factory.
Oh, yeah. Toyota's going to be calling you right after this airs. I guarantee Toyota's going to be calling you. Go ahead. Because you're competing with their sale. So it costs $3,000 at the dealership, but you're able to cut out the middleman and you charge $1,600.
I made this for my Prius. And then I decided, well, if anyone else wants one, let's see. And so that's how we started selling them.
So you buy it, you have it installed, and what goes wrong, Ms. Carry-On?
So pretty much starting January of this year, I started having issues with it where my vehicle stalled on the freeway. And then I had to have my vehicle was towed to the Toyota dealership, and the Toyota dealership charged me $150 to just get it diagnosed.
So do you take it back to your installer?
Correct.
And what does your installer say or do?
So according to him, he says he took a look at it. He's going to fix this and that it should be better. And, I was like, okay, that's fine. It was working fine. And then coming towards March, I would say like March 4th or so, that's when I started having another issue. The same thing, my vehicle just stalled again. And I told him, hey, you obviously didn't fix the problem. What's going on? Can you let me know? So then he told me, yeah, it's the battery. I'll have to remove it. So he took out the battery. He let me borrow one until he we had been discussing with me and Mr. Burgunst about,
So tell
requesting a
me
new
what
battery.
happens. You reach out to Mr. Vergunst, and what does he say?
So according to him,
Because you're within the 2-year warranty, right?
Correct.
Okay,
yes,
go on.
That is correct. So I reached out to him multiple times. He never responded. And I didn't hear back from him until finally he was like, okay, well, what do you want? You want your battery? Yeah. And then at one point he
Wait, stop.
decided,
So
no.
when does he say,
Sorry.
okay, you want a new battery? What day does he say that? And what, through email or text or what?
Through email.
Okay. Hi, Nick. I've sent several emails and just left a voicemail regarding the issue with my battery. Please advise. Oh, and actually earlier than that, you sent this email, this is a follow-up email from yesterday. I spoke with Rossi and was told my new battery would need to be replaced with another battery. He told me to follow up with you and you would send me another battery since it's still under warranty. My previous email has my receipt information. Did you ever get a response to either of these two emails? He says he responded to you on the 5th. Did you get a phone call?
No, he didn't.
Did you get a phone call?
No. And Your Honor, and I've actually I tried calling him multiple times, left multiple voicemails and never heard back from him.
Okay. Mr. Vergunst, did you respond to the March 5th emails?
Yes, I did. I responded to the March 5th email at 5:34 p.m.
If I send you a new battery, you will need to send the old one back. Also, please install it yourself. We will not warrant any work done by this third party in the future. You contracted with a third party to install and they failed installation. It is really not our problem at this point, but I am willing to send you a new pack for you to install properly. And according to him, he sent that at 5:34 on March 5th. Did you receive that, Ms. Carrion?
Okay, I received that email. However, that's what I was going to get to. He started, at one point I was just like, okay, am I going to continue to have this problem? And then that's when I requested my refund. And he said, well, out of goodwill, now that you don't want one, which I never said I don't. I just said, will that fix my problem? He had never responded to my question. And so he was like, no, I'm not going to give you one anymore.
Did he say that to you by email or verbally?
By email. If you don't want to help me with this issue, refund me those $1,600 that I paid. And then he went on to respond. Your issues with the bad installation from a third party you contracted with. I'm sending you a new battery for
Okay, hold on one second.
March 6th.
You heard me read the email that he had sent you on March 5th, right?
Yes.
And in that email, he said, I will send you a new battery. So
Yes,
what is your very next email to him on March 6th?
Can I
No,
just say
answer my
something right
question.
quick?
What is your next? Stop. What is your very next email to
after that?
him after that?
Well, that was the second. That was the second one. I just wanted to know, when is he going to respond?
This shouldn't be as hard as it is. This is what we call the anatomy of a lawsuit, what is happening right now. I am going to teach you exactly where everything went wrong. So now I want you to listen to my question. I read the email out loud that he sent at 5:34 his time. I want you to read out loud to me your very next email.
I understand your issue with your associate, and not great to hear, but again, I have a receipt which shows I purchased a $1,600 battery from your website. I would like to move forward with the new battery replacement. However, I'm a bit concerned. If I send you the battery and do not send me a new one, how can we set up an agreement where I, the consumer, can make sure that I receive a replacement? What is the process? Where do I send it to? Please explain. Thank you in advance.
Okay, and that is on March. That's a perfectly reasonable email. That's on March 5th.
March 5th, correct.
And then does he respond? What is his very next email to you?
March 5th, he responded, I'll send you a new battery and you send back the old one. Again, we have no associates. You contracted with the third party.
Which is a perfectly great response. He doesn't expect you to send back the old one before he sends you one. Again, we have no associates because you had said associates. You contracted with a third party. He's 100% correct. And at 9:28, talk to me, Mr. Vergunst. What happens? Stop spamming my personal accounts. I am doing a goodwill replacement. Your problem with installation is not a warrantable claim. It is the weekend and nothing is being shipped until Tuesday at the earliest. So what had happened that caused you to send that one out?
I received business emails, business voicemails, which are perfectly fine. But I also received LinkedIn messages, to my personal account that's not in any way related to.
Yeah, but she can't read. Don't you have to accept her for her to be able to write you and, to talk to you through LinkedIn?
Well, when you send someone an invite, you can personalize it.
Okay.
So that the personalized invitation is a message.
Okay.
Essentially, right? You can say, "Hey, I know you back in high school," kind of thing, or
Right.
"Hey, where's my battery at?" Either way is an invitation.
Okay, go on.
And this went on for the majority of the day.
How so? When you say it went on for the majority of the day, what do you mean?
Multiple emails, text messages, voicemail.
Will you tell me how many times did she email you Saturday? Just tell me.
On Saturday, I believe it was about 4 times.
4 times.
3 or 4 times.
And at what point did you finally tell her I'm shipping it out on Tuesday?
The first contact I had with her on Saturday was at 9:28 p.m.
And so at that point, you tell her you'll have it on Tuesday. And does she respond to that?
So at 9:28, I tell her that I'm sending her a brand new free battery goodwill gesture, and I do answer her question.
Stop
that it will be
spamming my
shipped on
personal
Tuesday.
account. And then she says, I'm just following up with you regarding my questions, and you were not giving me a time frame, which is true.
Yes.
Because you told me she wrote to your business ones and you did not respond. Now it's Saturday. I get it. It would have been nice if you had responded with a time frame on Friday. Ooh, Miss Carrion, at 9:36, 2 minutes. So let's put ourselves, here we are. It's Saturday night. It's 9:34. It's 9:28, and he tells you, stop spamming my personal accounts. I'm doing this as a goodwill replacement. Your problem with installation is not a warrantable claim. It is the weekend. Nothing is being shipped until Tuesday at the earliest. To which you respond, hey, I was just trying to get an answer. And then you sat there for 120 seconds and stewed because you thought he was rude. And you sat there and said, you know what? Or if you do want to help me solve the issue, refund me my $1,600 that I paid. And what happens? He writes back. Now everybody's writing 1 minute after each other. Your issue is with a bad installation from a third party you contracted with. I am sending you a new battery for free as a goodwill, which is quickly eroding. Also confirm you understand that this battery is not to be installed by a third party. We will not warrant that for your vehicle. And then you say, because at this point you're starting to understand he's holding all the cards, please ship it to this address. That's fair. I agree. Then at 9:51, so since your website offers a 2-year warranty, what will it warranty? Or was this a live fake? Ooh, bad move, when someone else is holding the cards. And you could sue him and win, but oh, that's so much trouble. So it's actually much better to smile politely and wait for this to be over. I actually want to cancel the order and request a refund. How do you provide refunds? And 10:07, nobody's got a Saturday night. Nobody's out. Nobody's having fun. Everybody's just writing back and forth. The warranty requires proper installation. It was improperly installed. I am offering you a free battery to replace a mistake that you or your contracted third party made, which is not warrantable. You have no clue if that's true. Your supposition is that the guy installed it wrong. Why?
So we actually have a history with this installer. We have had 5 claims total globally. For the thousands and thousands of batteries that we've shipped, 3 have been with him.
Okay.
And going through the text messages I submitted between him and myself, he likes to ask questions all the time that are in the installation manual. He does not actually follow it. And with her battery itself, there's actually a text message chain where he says he had to go in and re-tighten the bolts, which means he did not tighten the bolts to the proper 48 inch-pounds of torque, which is the exact guess that I made at the beginning, which is he did not use a torque wrench.
Ms. Carrion, let's you and I talk turkey. You know that at one point your third-party installer looked you right in the eye and mentioned that he may have installed it improperly.
Correct.
So what possesses you to play Quienes Mas Macho on a Saturday night with a guy who's still going to give you a brand new $1,600 battery? Why would you tell him, or you can just return my money? Because let's see what happens. Oh, it's a rhetorical question, darling. On Monday morning, you file a Better Business Bureau complaint, don't you?
Wouldn't you do that? I mean, if you don't hear from a person.
I would tell you, let me tell you what I would do. I would say, thank you. I'll be there Tuesday to receive the battery. I appreciate your goodwill gesture. You have yourself a wonderful Saturday night. Do you know why I would do that? Because I want the battery. Now you got the guy saying, I'm going to send you one anyway, even though 3 out of the 5 problems I've had have been because of this guy. And he's telling you he's going to ship it Tuesday. And what do? You up the ante and say, why don't you give me my money back? And when he doesn't answer you, bad things happen on Monday morning because you didn't answer her. And I understand that she's becoming a pest. And I understand that she's not striking the right tone. I understand that, but you understand that's why a Better Business Bureau complaint was filed against you. And then you should understand that when you file a Better Business Bureau complaint and you look me in the eye and say, wouldn't you? No, I might have waited until, Tuesday or Wednesday to see if I got it. I might not have filed the complaint in the middle of my negotiation with him because look at where you are. You're here because then he said goodwill evaporated, and then that's it. He was done. And then look at you. Now you're here begging for, for justice. Wow.
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. The plaintiff bought a battery from the defendant for her Prius, says it was a dud, wants her money back. The defendant is saying, come on, this battery was installed improperly by the plaintiff, so the plaintiff is the one who's going to lose this case. We will see. Let's go back into the courtroom.
So really your defense is she's annoying as can be. Right? That's your defense, is that she didn't seem grateful and you were doing it as a goodwill gesture because you have this feeling that he installed it wrong. And she's not striking the proper tone. What are we going to do? What are we going to do here? Mr. Vergunst, what do you want to do here? I get it. I know how we're here. I know why we're here. I know how we're here. So tell me, what do you want to do? Here you are. You're not just in court, you're on the People's Court. You're on national television, right? There are a lot of Prius drivers listening, right? What you want to do? What you want to do?
Well, just like we offered her before, we offered her a free battery. The free battery is for goodwill.
Can you do it now? Would you do that for her now? She's a little edgier than most people. She was antsy. She wanted answers and she wanted them now. You've heard me dress her down about that, okay? I think that you're right. I understand, and it was not smart on her part. But what do you think? Will you send her a battery?
We don't have one to send at the moment. We're actually out of stock.
Really?
We don't even advertise. We have people who buy more than we can produce.
What did you end up doing, Ms. Carrion? Did you buy a new battery from... No. So you're still driving around in the battery that the third party gave you to drive. Okay, let's go back to your texts with her installer. And what is the date you want me to look at where he says he tightened it? And that's going to be your evidence of him doing it incorrectly, I guess. I want to see if he admits that he did it incorrectly. What day do you want me to look at? Because now I got to get down to that. If I think it's his error, you get nothing. What do you think, Ms. Carrion? Just like I asked him, which way do you want to handle this? You want to take what's behind door number 1, which is his offer to send you a new battery, or do you want to take what's behind door number 2, which is me looking for this text? So you feeling lucky? What you want to do?
I would like to have a battery that works, and
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to send her no later than what, Mr. Vergunst? You can put it in the mail.
It depends on customs brokerage. We've had over a month delays getting into Los Angeles.
Okay. Does that work for you, Ms. Carrion? Because I guess you're using the battery from the third party guy. No?
It doesn't
okay.
work for
So
me.
then I'm just going to look for the text and call it and say whether it was your guy's fault or his. Okay. This is it. It has all come down to this. Even with my intensely persuasive powers, I have not been able to get you guys to agree. So she doesn't want to accept the deal, which is fine with me. I don't care. My batteries in my internal body are starting to run out. So I'm going to call it, and somebody's going to walk away
11th.
From here very unhappy.
So there is a text for a completely different customer on September 30th of 2019 where he has, being cautious with the nuts, which means that he did not torque them properly, and then he did have to. His quote, they did tighten up a bit more. And then he says they, had to tighten several nuts. Again, they were not tight when he opened the battery up.
Okay. I find that you have
And
sufficiently proved that this gentleman has some problem installing these batteries. And I am finding in favor of the defendant in this case. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you, Judge.
So, in a surprise, the judge finds for the defendant in this case. Ms. Carrion, the plaintiff, what are you thinking right now?
I'll never buy from a third party. That's what I learned.
All right, sorry, you lost. And
Yeah.
I guess you have no one to blame but yourself there. The judge tried to help you out. Mr. Vergunst, how do you feel about the outcome of this case? You kind of surprised?
I'm not surprised. I think we tried to do the right thing throughout. We know we did offer a goodwill battery, even though, as the judge agreed, we didn't have to.
I got to admit, you're a very generous guy indeed. Good luck. Congratulations. You prevailed.
Okay, Doug. So, look, in this case, it's pretty clear that the plaintiff's installer may have been the one that created the problem here. So, as a result, the defendant's off the hook. Now, remember, the plaintiff could go after the installer if the job wasn't done properly, and that's always a possibility. And that's why, before you file lawsuits, you should really investigate to see who ultimately is the culprit.
What kind of wine do you like, or what is the best red wine to drink?
Oh my goodness. Well, I have spent my time very wisely during COVID. Some people have learned a new language. One of our friends became a photographer. And I have spent my time perfecting my hobby of red wine.
So you become an expert?
Yes. It's so much so that it's humiliating to take out the recycling.
Right.
I like full-bodied reds, so I like Cabernets, Cabernet Sauvignons. I like
Malbecs.
But you didn't even drink wine. You were a Buffalo beer drinker.
I still am.
You still are,
Yeah,
but
that's my go-to.
until our 25th anniversary when we went to Napa.
That's right.
For our 25th anniversary. That's when all of a sudden, now all of a sudden, not only do we buy wine, now we have a refrigerator for the wine because now you're liking it.
Yeah, I do. I drink a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, that's my go-to is beer, and then after that maybe a rye whiskey on the rocks. But I do like red wine, and when you open a bottle, I usually have a glass, right?
If there's a glass remaining, yeah.